जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शुत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। वैष्णव ठाकुर शीला प्रभुपाद की। श्री श्री राधा गोविंद देव की। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की। श्री श्री गौर निताय की। श्रील प्रभुपाद की। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, we are reading from Srimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 33, entitled Activities of Kapila, verse number 27. Nityaruಢa samadhitvat Paravritta gunabhrama Na sasmara tadatmanam Swapne drishtam ivotitaha Nityaruಢa samadhitvat Paravritta gunabhrama Na sasmara tadatmanam Swapne drishtam ivotthitaha Nityaruಢa samadhitvat Paravritta gunabhrama Na sasmara tadatmanam Swapne drishtam ivotthitaha Nityaruಢa samadhitvat Paravritta gunabhrama Na sasmara tadatmanam Swapne drishtam ivotitaha
Nityaruಢa samadhitvat Paravritta gunabhrama Na sasmara tadatmanam Swapne drishtam ivotitaha Nityaruಢa samadhitvat Paravritta gunabhrama Na sasmara tadatmanam Swapne drishtam ivotitaha
Mataji?
Nityaruಢa samadhitvat Paravritta Na sasmara tadatmanam Swapne drishtam ivotitaha
What word? Nitya, eternal. Arudha, situated in. Samadhitvat, from trance. Paravritta, freed from. Guna, of the modes of material nature. Brahma, illusion. Na sasmara, she did not remember. Tada, then. Atmanam, her material body. Swapne, in a dream. Drishtam, seen. Iva, just as. Uttitaha, one who has arisen. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: situated in eternal trance and freed from illusion, impelled by the modes of material nature, she forgot her material body, just as one forgets his different bodies in a dream. Please repeat. Situated in eternal trance and freed from illusion, impelled by the modes of material nature, she forgot her material body. Just as one forgets his different bodies in a dream. Prabhupada's purport. A great Vaishnava said that he who has no remembrance of his body is not bound to material existence. As long as we are conscious of our bodily existence, it is to be understood that we are living conditionally under the three modes of material nature. When one forgets his bodily existence, his conditional material life is over. This forgetfulness is actually possible when we engage our senses in transcendental loving service of the Lord. In the conditional state, one engages his senses as a member of a family or as a member of a society or country. But when one forgets all such membership in material circumstances and realizes that he is an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, that is actual forgetfulness of material existence. This forgetfulness actually occurs when one renders service unto the Lord. A devotee no longer works with the body for sense gratification with family, society, country, humanity, and so on. He simply works for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That is perfect Krishna consciousness. A devotee always merges in transcendental happiness, and therefore he has no experience of material distresses. This transcendental happiness is called eternal bliss. According to the opinion of devotees, constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord is called samadhi or trance. If one is constantly in trance, there is no possibility of his being attacked or even touched by the modes of material nature. As soon as one is freed from the contamination of the three modes of material nature, from the three modes, he no longer has to take birth to transmigrate from one form to another in this material world. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Before I begin, I would like to seek the blessings of His Grace Amog Leela Prabhu and His Grace Ramrai Prabhu and all the assembled Vaishnavas, so that whatever is spoken is in line with what Sri Prabhupada is teaching. Nitya Rudha Samadhitvat Paravritta Gunabhrama Nasasmara Tadatmanam Swapne Drishtam Ivotitaha. Situated in eternal trance and freed from illusion, impelled by the modes of material nature, she forgot her material body, just as one forgets his different bodies in a dream. So how many of you present here, you really want to forget your current body? I hope you know what it means to forget your body. Actually, in this material world, to interact with the material world, the spirit soul has been given a material facility, which is called the material body, the gross body and the subtle body. So, the gross body and subtle body is a facility also for the soul to help him realize that this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, isn't it? That means the amount of pleasure the body can give is minute, almost nothing compared to the amount of miseries it can give. So, Therefore, we all definitely want to forget this body. But it is not possible until unless we follow the given process. So, here in the verse it is mentioned, Devahuti forgot her material body just as one forgets his different bodies in a dream. So, what does that mean? You see, as soon as in the dream, we accept different dreams, we have different bodies or different identities. Now, sometimes in one dream, we have become the king and we are ruling over subjects. In another dream, we have become the number one scientist and with the latest research. Or in another dream, we have become a gold medalist student or an athlete or a very successful businessman. So these are all considered to be dreams. Looks like some of you are dreaming right now. So why are they called as dreams? Because we also have an experience of a night dream. And similar to the night dream, this life is also a dream. Can anyone give an similarity between the night dream and our life as a dream? What is the similarity? There is a similarity and there is a difference. Yes, Prabhu?
It's temporary.
Yes, both are temporary. The night dream is temporary for sure because we can see it. And this life is also temporary because we hear it. Isn't it? Thank you. Yes? Misidentification. Very good. So in the night dream, we are misidentifying ourselves as so many other things. And when we wake up from the night dream, we think, oh, that wasn't me. I'm actually a scholar. But actually, I'm not even a scholar. There's also the misidentification that continues in this life. Very good. So what is the difference between the two? The night dream and the life as a dream? We saw the similarities, but there is also a difference. Yes? Chaitanya Prabhu?
Night dream goes for a few hours. The life dream goes for your existence.
Few hours, or we don't know how long you dream. Of course, yeah. The length, the time period is different. Yes?
Our life is actually happening and the dream is like imaginary.
Imaginary, but the experience is real. Sri Prabhupada explains, just as when you're in the dream, a tiger is chasing you. But when the tiger is chasing you, you're actually sweating in your body. And as the tiger pounces upon you in the dream, you fall off the bed. And when you realize, you're actually sweating and your heart is pounding. So it is imaginary, but the experience is real. Just as a soul, this whole thing is false in the sense that it's temporary, but we take it so seriously. Isn't it? So, here the verse says, Swapne drishtam vivottitaha. That means, just as one forgets different bodies in a dream. So when we wake up to reality, that means that we are no more dreaming. That means we have actually given up all the false identifications. How many false identifications do we have? We might think, I'm a very smart person. Someone might think I'm a very good cook. Someone thinks I'm a scholar. So if you count how many identities do we get? False identities we have accepted. Unlimited of false identifications. Or unlimited number of bodies. The dreamy bodies. So in Kuntimani's prayers, in 1st Canto 8, chapter 35th verse, Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bihi, like that she says. She says, my dear Lord, you are giving me an opportunity to remember you, which means to actually put a full stop to all these miseries. And what is the cause of this suffering in this material world? Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bihi. The beginning of suffering or existence of material life is avidya. And what is this avidya? What is avidya? Sorry? Ahamameti. Okay, very good. Me and mine, ahamameti. Anything else? What is this avidya? Sorry? Thinking we are this body. Yes.
Forgetfulness of our relationship with Krishna.
Very good. Forgetfulness of our relationship with Krishna. All very good answers. Yes, this is avidya. So to think or accept false designations, that is avidya. And after we accept false designation, what is the next thing we do? The desires come up in the mind accordingly. Isn't it? So avidya, when we accept, avidya means we are accepting different designations, and according to the designation we get material desire. And similarly, to fulfill a material desire, we need a designation. So if you go to a mathematician and say, my dear mathematics professor, you are actually a fool number 1 in maths. Will he feel bad or not? He'll feel very bad, because you have attacked his ego, his very cause of sustenance, source of sustenance. But if you go to a maths teacher and tell him, actually your chemistry is not good, does he feel bad? No. Like say if you're a cook, cooking for the deities. Someone says, Prabhu, you're not very good at Shastra. No problem. As long as he doesn't comment on my cooking, it's fine. Or for a scholar, you say, Prabhu, you're not a very good cook. And he's thinking, as long as he doesn't comment on my Shastric ability. Are you able to understand? So therefore, what designation we have, accordingly we get desires. So if one thinks, I'm very good at mathematics, now he wants to excel in maths. He wants to show that I am better than everyone in mathematics. Then he goes for Olympiad and so many different tests to just prove. And time after time, life after life, all his time is gone trying to prove himself. To whom? He's just trying to enjoy. So therefore, why do we accept so many different material designations? Why do we accept? Because we want to enjoy through different designations. So, just so you can understand, even the source of even accepting false designation is the enjoying mentality. So therefore, enjoying mentality leads to accepting multiple designations. When we accept multiple designations, we use the designation to fulfill material desires. And when we have material desires, what happens? Avidya, kama, karma bihi. Karma bihi means then we want to act accordingly. So then now you go out of the temple and see so many people working so hard. Even if you take out the car at 7 a.m., you can hit a traffic jam. Because people are working so hard. And why are they working so hard? To fulfill the desires. And all this is because the living entity is trying to enjoy in this material world. Yeah? So, when the living entity tries to enjoy falsely, trying to imitate the Supreme Person of Godhead, then Sri Prabhupada quotes this verse from the 6th canto. He becomes ghost haunted, he says. Graha grasta. What is the meaning of ghost haunted? Now, for example, for those of you who have worked with computers, when a virus attacks, virus like Trojan horse or malware, anyone has experienced virus on your computer? Yeah, some of you. So what happens when virus attacks? Cause problem, yeah. What type of problems? Yeah, it puts up a bunch of pop-ups. Then what else does it do? Okay. Encrypts your files. Then slow down your computer.
You can actually use your computer.
Yeah, you can't use the computer for its
They
purpose.
can use your computer.
They can use the computer.
Get that virus.
Yes. So in my experience, I had once Trojan horse attacked on my Windows computer. So then it would bring up so many pop-ups. You keep clicking OK, and it just keeps increasing the number of pop-ups, isn't it? So I was thinking, is there a ghost in the computer? So now you can understand when Prabhupada says Grahagrasta, that means a person who is attacked with this virus of Kama, Krodha and Lobha, lust, anger and greed, because he wants to enjoy this material world. Such a living entity also becomes ghost haunted. What do you mean by ghost haunted? People do the craziest things to somehow or other try to enjoy. And at the end, they don't even get enjoyment. So, in Puranas, one story is mentioned of a disciple of Vyasadeva. I think it's Gemini Rishi. So, Gemini Rishi said that he is a very big scholar, and Vyasadeva had to go for a retreat. He wanted to take off and go for a pilgrimage tour and come back. So Vyasadeva said, Gemini, be careful of Maya. Gemini said, don't worry, I am a scholar, I have studied scriptures very well. You don't worry about me getting into Maya. Then Vyasadeva quoted, this Matra Swastra Dohitra Va, and even in association of any kind of woman, including mother, daughter or sister, one has to be very careful, because Vidvan Apina Karshati, it is said. A learned man can get bewildered by even such a relationship. So Gemini said, my dear Guruji, please you proceed ahead. You don't worry so much about me. I will handle it. So at that time, Vyasadeva understood this fellow needs a good lesson. Then one night, Vyasadeva was away, Guruji was away from ashram. Gemini was all alone doing his shastric study and chanting and his spiritual practices. That night, it was a stormy night, raining very heavily. Someone came and battered the door. So Gemini did not reply. And again there was a battering on the door. And now this time the battering was accompanied with a sweet female voice. And it said, my dear sage, please help me, it's a stormy night and I have no other shelter. So he said, no, I cannot keep you here. Just without opening the door. He said, I cannot keep you here. You go somewhere else. Again she battered the door. He said, please, do something. That time Gemini went to the door and he opened the door, and to his amazement, he saw the lady being drenched in rain. So when the clothes become wet, they get attached to the body. So as the clothes got attached to the body, he could see the figure of the lady. And immediately his mind he got some symptoms of bewilderment. But he said, no, I'm a sage, so you cannot be here. But we have another hut close by. And so you go inside, lock yourself inside, and we will see what will happen in the day. And at night, if anyone comes, including me, don't open the door. And the lady said, fine. And she went inside and locked herself inside. And now throughout the night, the Gemini Rishi, he was constantly thinking about her. Constantly thinking about her sweet voice, about her figure. So, dhyayato vishan pumsa sangastesh pujayate sangha sanchite kamaha. So he reached the platform of kamaha now. So now without fulfilling his desire, he was getting frustrated. So immediately he ran, though it was a stormy night. He opened the door, he went to the hut and he started knocking her door. And then she said, when he knocked, that time she asked, who is it at the dead of night who is knocking on my door? And Gemini Rishi said, it is me, the owner of this place. Why don't you open the door? She said, but you yourself said, even if you come, I should not open, so I cannot open the door. So Gemini Rishi went so mad in lust, he climbed on top of the hut and removed the straw and jumped inside. So when he jumped inside, she got scared and Gemini proposed at the dead of night. He said, So your beauty attracts and charms my heart. So why don't you become my wife? The lady said, actually, I don't accept anyone as my husband. I have a test. What is the test? She said, if you really want to be my husband, then you have to become naked and take me on your back throughout the kingdom or throughout the city. Then I will accept you. Gemini said, not a problem. See, it's not Gemini's problem only. When we also come under the influence of bewilderment, we also act ghost haunted. So Gemini, that's what he did. He took his wife on his back and he proceeded. Took a big tour of the city and came back, or the village and came back. And now, as they reached back to the hut, Gemini is still holding his wife on the lady on his back. So now he asked, is this all right? And then a manly laughter came. Ha ha ha. Who was it? It was actually Vyasdev sitting, and he actually took up a form of the lady just to teach Gemini a lesson. Then when Gemini saw Vyasdev, immediately was shocked and he said, Guruji, what happened? Your pilgrimage ended quite soon. And Vyasdev said, no, I wanted to actually teach you a lesson. And what was the lesson? You can never be enough afraid of Maya. So, by this we understand when one comes under the sway of enjoying mentality, one becomes ghost haunted. How many of you could see Gemini Rishi becoming ghost haunted? Yeah, because he was acting crazy. As a third person, when you look at Gemini, all of you are laughing. But you'll be shocked if someone takes a video of us acting like this. We'll be shocked. How can I act like this? And this is the power of sense gratification. In pursuit of sense gratification, the living entity becomes ghost haunted. Therefore, it is said, avidya, kama. And to pursue that lust, one acts in this world. And how does he act? He does anything and everything to fulfill his desires. Sometimes you go and tell a person outside, why don't you study the Bhagavad Gita, you'll be happy. He says, I'm already happy. Then you would say, no, you can become more happy. He says, I don't want it. Isn't it? Well, for example, sometimes I feel that people who are handicapped, they really understand the misery of this material world. So when I approach a person on a wheelchair, do you want a Bhagavad Gita? He said, I don't want it. And then I asked one such a person. He said, I asked him why. No, this material world is full of suffering. Clearly, you understand it. He said, no, I want to enjoy in this world. So people are getting left, right and center. They're getting kicks from Maya, but they cannot understand. Why? Because they've accepted false designation. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport that when we accept different bodies in the dream, that is called as dreaming state, sapna. And jagrati is awakened state. When we wake up, we can see the reality. When we don't wake up, when we're in dreaming state, we don't understand. That is called as maya, that which is not. Isn't it? So therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sings, Jiva jago, Gaura Chandra bole, Kota nidra jao maya, Pishachira kole. See, Pishachira kole. Again, a ghost is mentioned. Isn't it? So therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going city to city, village to village. He's making everyone, telling everyone, instructing everyone, please wake up. Wake up from what? People are awake to hear it. To wake up from this false reality, which we think is actual reality. Now, if you see the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, this forgetfulness of material existence, that means spiritual existence, is actually possible when we engage our senses in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. In the conditioned state, one engages his senses as a member of a family or as a member of society or a country. In some purports, when you read, Prabhupada says, a man, he works hard whole day and whole day that he cannot even sometimes sleep at night properly. But then, whatever money he gets when he takes home, there are thieves presented as family members. Don't feel bad. This is the truth. What Prabhupada says. There are thieves present as family members. The wife says, where's the salary? And the man willingly, voluntarily picks up the money and hands it over to the thief. Isn't it? And he doesn't understand. I've worked so much and they are taking everything. But he feels the joy. Isn't it? So, therefore, what was Prabhupada saying? Yeah, so in the conditioned state, one engages his senses as a member of a family, member of a society or a country. He's ready to lay down his life for the country, for a society. He's ready to do anything for his friends. This is all simply illusion. Therefore, Prabhupada calls it conditioned state. But when one forgets all such membership in material circumstances and realizes that he is an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, Jivera Swarup Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. This is true ego. Ego cannot be killed. There is no killing of existence. We do exist eternally. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Krishna says when the body is killed, the soul goes on. But on account of material desires, he accepts different designations. Brahmande Brahmite. He is simply wandering lifetime after lifetime, accepting different designations in different species to fulfill different desires. And then only, Brahmanda Brahmate Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. When he comes in touch with the bona fide spiritual master who introduces him to the Supreme Personality of God and Sri Krishna, that is the time he wakes up. He wakes up to reality. And the symptom is what Prabhupada is saying, that he forgets all such membership in material circumstances. Like Kulashekar, King Kulashekar in his Mukund Mala Stotra, he says, Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi Shri Krishna padambujan. He said, my mind is so attached to serving Shri Krishna's lotus feet, that even for a moment my mind doesn't go away. Then someone can ask, but what about your family? What about your kingdom? What about your subjects? He says, even if some people say that I'm not caring for my family enough, I'm not, my family members say that it is a disgrace that I have left their family tradition and I'm practicing Krishna consciousness, I don't mind. Because the flood of love I feel in my heart is so much that these things don't matter to me anymore. This is called awakening state. We can see things to its essence. That means Krishna is big, we keep Krishna big in our life. Other things, material problems, material things in this world are small and they remain small. And further, Sri Prabhupada says, this forgetfulness actually occurs when one renders service unto the Lord. So Prabhupada is giving a hint. How do we come to the platform of forgetting our false material designation? Easy. Prabhupada has made everything very easy. He says, use your senses to serve the Supreme Lord. Engaging the senses in service to Krishna automatically, gradually, one gets the understanding that I am the eternal servant of the Lord. How? Because Prabhupada calls devotional service as the eternal occupation of the soul. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabo Nai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udai. That means eternally we are servant of Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema is existing. It's not what we have acquired. Some people say to enjoy in this world seems very natural to me. That is because we have spent too much time in this material world. Though we are getting kicks, we are not learning a lesson. Too much time. It feels so natural to be lusty, to be angry, to be greedy, to be envious of others. But to be of service to others, now it is seeming little artificial. Why? Because too much time spent in the material world. But in CC explains, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, the love for Godhead is eternally present. It never goes away. But it becomes dormant. Dormant means it goes to a sleeping state. Why? We have covered it up with so many other nonsense, false designations. Therefore, Chetudarpana Marjanam, when you cleanse all the dirt from the mirror of the heart, then you can see who you are. What is that who you are? Servant of the Supreme Lord, eternally. And you can get a glimpse. How, like sometimes when I ask the serving devotees, Prabhu, what about your prasadam? They say, Prabhu, I'm serving all the other devotees. And by serving, I'm so happy that I don't get this urge to eat anymore. How many of you have experienced it? Yeah? You keep serving so much, you lose the desire to eat, at least temporarily, to enjoy. So this is called our true state. Wherever you put a living entity, he has to serve someone. In a true state, one serves God. And through God, he serves all. So, when we talk about enjoyment, many people think to enjoy means you have to become the enjoyer. Isn't it? But if you see, who enjoys? In a relationship, say between a boy and a girl, who is enjoying? Who enjoys in a relationship? Boy or the girl? Both enjoy. That means in the relationship of enjoyed and the enjoyer and the enjoyed, both enjoy. Enjoyer enjoys on the platform of seeking enjoyment, being served, and enjoyed enjoys by being of service. This is also enjoyment. And to experience that enjoyment, Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he sees, my devotees have much more enjoyment than me. Isn't it? Actually, it is said, one of the reasons, internal reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended to this world, once in the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan, Krishna and Radharani was sitting on a swing, and they were swinging. So that time, a bee was coming and troubling them. That time Krishna told Madhumangal, shoo this bee away. And Madhumangal got to the task. And after some time he came and he said, my dear Krishna, the Madhu has gone. Madhu means bee. So immediately Srimati Radharani went into another sort of ecstasy. And she exclaimed, what? Madhu has gone? And immediately she started to pour incessant amount of tears. That time Krishna thought, what is this? What kind of devotees are these? They're so crazy for me. Krishna is still beside her. But she's thinking she's already missing Krishna. Just because Madhumangal said, Madhu has gone. Isn't it? So that time Krishna got a desire. I also want to taste what my devotees are tasting. So who is enjoying? Krishna wants to see and try to enjoy how the devotees are enjoying. Isn't it? And therefore Krishna gives up his godhood. The Godhead gives up his godhood to understand what a devotee is experiencing. So therefore, many people think, become servant of Krishna, become submissive, obedient to authorities. They don't like these words. People like to demand, or even in the name of seva, one wants to enjoy. Isn't it? Actually, there's much more enjoyment in serving than in being served. And what is the proof? Krishna is the proof. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the proof. And that is the reason Krishna comes as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore Prabhupada says, a devotee always merges in transcendental happiness, and therefore he has no experience of material distress. Source of material distress still exists in the material world, but he doesn't experience it. Because in comparison to the flood of love of God he is experiencing in the heart, these pains are negligible. So then Prabhupada continues. This transcendental happiness is called eternal bliss. And how do you attain eternal bliss? Prabhupada says to be in samadhi. And what is that samadhi? That samadhi is constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. You can see, sometimes in the morning we hear Prabhupada lecture while getting ready. So then if you really can resonate with what Prabhupada is saying, then you become so blissful. Even though probably your head is aching, you wanted to catch up more rest. So many things are there. Probably it's a hectic day today. But if you can resonate, if you can hear properly and remember Krishna, immediately you feel some lightness. And this is, Nectar of Devotion explains this as Kleshagnihi. And this Kleshagnihi, the disappearance or the minimizing of kleshas or miseries, is experienced even by the neophyte devotees. And that's what gives us a boost to keep going on in this material world. Practicing Krishna consciousness, Despite all the troubles, all the reversals, all the contradictions we might come across in the Shastra, doubts, still we go on. Why? Because we have experienced a taste. When Narada Muni was a boy before, in the previous life, when his mother died, he left home and started to walk north. That is when he became very deep in his Krishna consciousness, and at one point in time, Krishna gave his darshan in his mind. But he only gave it for a glimpse. Then Narada boy opened his eyes and the glimpse was gone. So then he was trying again and again, but glimpse never came back. Then he began to cry. Then Krishna spoke through the clouds. He loudly spoke to the Narada boy and he said, "So my dear boy, don't worry. Actually, I'm only giving you a glimpse. Why? Because I want to give you a taste of what it is to attain me. But at the same time, you still have to purify your heart. Only after which you can attain me." Similarly, in all our lives, Krishna is giving us glimpses. Someday you go for Harinam, it's an ecstatic Harinam. Sometimes you distribute book, you feel so great that you have actually helped someone start his Krishna consciousness. You cook something and someone appreciated. Someone who was hungry took it. So in this way we keep getting glimpses of ecstasy here and there. But we cannot settle in for that. Glimpse, Krishna gives us glimpse to help us go ahead. As the saying goes, stagnant water stinks. Similarly, there's a saying by one of the poets, Vaishnava poets, he says, just as stagnant water stinks, a yogi who does not advance, he also stinks. He becomes a trouble for the society. Why? Because when he was advancing, everyone liked him in the society. But when he stops advancing, what does it mean he stops advancing? His mind goes back to material world. That means he starts saying, because I'm a senior devotee, I need this facility. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says this Bhāgavatam temple. Who are the ones fighting for the rooms and the rooms facing the lake view and etc., all these things? They were the sannyasis. So when we stop advancing spiritually, we start making material progress. Isn't it? So the yogi who does not advance, he also stinks. So therefore, Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport that constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord is called Samadhi. If one constantly is in trance, there is no possibility of being attacked by the three modes of material nature. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashot Chatina Kankshati. Actually, that one, sorry. Mam Chayavya Vicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevde Sagunan Samatityetan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. When we practice Krishna consciousness like this day in and day out, regularly, strictly, a strict, serious devotee and a sincere devotee. When we practice like this day in and day out, Krishna keeps giving glimpse, and later on it is initially a droplet, later a cup full of glimpse, then you will start living the spiritual world. There will be so many other things as Maya. There will be some politics going on here and there. There will be some misunderstanding between devotees here and there. But you don't care for any of that. Why? Because you are now living in the spiritual world. But when you're not living there, when we have not advanced that much, then politics here and there, you get affected. Some small doubt comes in the mind, we get affected. Does God really exist? Isn't it? So therefore, to progress as Devahuti progressed, to attain, come to that platform of trance or samadhi, what Prabhupada says is constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord. To get a taste for hearing, not just half an hour, not just 1 hour, not just 2 hours, on and on. Remembrance, constant remembrance. Then at that time, material world no more exists. And as the verse says, Sapne Drishtam Evottitaha. All the bodies are gone. All the material, one forgets his different bodies, as in a dream he forgets. He forgets all his material identities and resituates himself in spiritual identity full of glory and service to Krishna. So I'll pause there. If anyone has any comments, corrections or any questions, we have 5 minutes.
My question is that you mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, when he saw the devotional mood of Radharani, he wanted to taste it, therefore he took birth as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, now Krishna is all-knower, so how did he not know what Radharani is feeling? Why did he have to take the birth, the form of a devotee to feel that? Why did he not know already?
He is all-knowing, but he's always in the mood of, he's always the enjoyer. Isn't it? Now to experience what does it mean to serve. Therefore, Krishna, if you see, when Krishna comes in this world, he also gives up his identity as God. And as 116:16 says, Saratya Parshada, Sevana Sakya Dautya. Like that, he's accepting the post of a messenger, post of a night guard, so many posts just to serve the Pandavas. But what Radharani was experiencing, to figure that out, he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when you see from Tattva point of view, yeah, Krishna knows everything. Actually, Radharani is Krishna. One person becomes two, and two becomes one. So in absolute is one. So now in Tattva point of view, Krishna knows everything. But Rasa point of view, when you see from Rasa point of view, then Krishna really wanted to know what is Radharani tasting. Isn't it?
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So you're talking about designations and how in the material world everybody's searching for designations because that brings them the enjoyment. But we see even in spiritual life, in the mission of Srila Prabhupada, we have our own designations and we're attached to the designations as well. So can you speak a bit about those sorts of designations and attachments?
Okay. So what I understand by your question is the designations like the managerial designations. Yeah. Right. Okay. So in the spiritual world also there are designations. Why? Because you see they are friends of Krishna. There are lovers of Krishna, Madhurya Ras. They are parents of Krishna, Vatsalya Ras. But you will see all the rasas are based off Dasya Ras. Not that now I'm friend of Krishna, kick out Dasya Ras. I don't serve it. No. The friend is becoming a friend to Krishna because he wants to serve Krishna. The gopis are loving Krishna and that is their service to Krishna. It is mentioned in 10th canto of Srimad Bhāgavatam. Why do the gopis, they dress themselves so beautifully? To please Krishna. That means you will see Dasya Ras is there. Isn't it? So similarly, all the positions in this world also I mean, when we talk about spiritual society in ISKCON, like Pujari or Kirtanya, whatever it is, if the underlying principle is of service, then it's good. And that also has symptoms. When we are in the mood of service, and I say, I like to do Kirtan to Krishna, Kirtan for Krishna, I want to serve the Lord, then there are symptoms that, there is proper, we follow the seniors, how they guide us. But when someone says, I'm Kirtanya, and it's like unquestioned what is their mood of service, then you find that, you say, please wear tilak and come, please wear some Vaishnava attire, please wear some kantimala, So, therefore, these things, if it's based off service, that's also some symptoms are there you can find out. But generally, even though they are post position in spiritual realm, it's all based off servitude. Raman.
That's an intriguing question. Let me try to say something from a different angle. Srila Prabhupada, he predicted 5,000 years ago by Vyasa to Narada Muni that Narada Muni to Vyasa that he would come 500 years ago by Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and even his spiritual master understood who he was and what he was to do. But at the same time, through the stages, so to speak, of Srila Prabhupada's life, quote unquote, he played the designation of his mother's young child as an infant and toddler, as his father's pet son, as an employee under Dr. Bosch, as a student in the Scottish Churches College, and then ultimately as a junior godbrother. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta started the mission in 1918, and Prabhupada doesn't take his initiation until 1932. And then he's not a brahmachari or a sannyasi, and he's the same personality. Devotees, when they hear about how Srila Prabhupada struggled, we just discovered a photograph of the West End Superette in the winter of 1965-66, like 3 feet of snow on the ground, and devotees think, wow, it pains their heart to think that Srila Prabhupada was all alone, had to walk all this distance, 3 avenue blocks, 3 regular blocks, back and forth in the snow to cook and take a proper bath every day for 5.5 months. We wish we could have, but the point is that a devotee is always the same, no matter what his designation or condition of life. Now here we are, we have a certain designation. Like I remember when I joined and I was brand new man, just a bhakta, everybody's older than me. And now I'm quote unquote, compared to most everybody, a senior devotee. But if I take birth again, either by having unfinished business or to, continue the mission, then I'm seemingly going to be a new person again, or so. But we play the role. The Vaishnava etiquette is very, very scientific, and ultimately it is Krishna's system. But within that, just as we can see how, like a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada is always the same person. The reciprocation with Krishna, Krishna's acceptance. There's a statement in the 8th canto in one purport. It's not that Krishna is only pleased with the senior devotees or the most advanced devotees. He's pleased with the newest devotee, equally so, and will give that devotee all encouragement and everything they need to come to the highest position. So these are some deep things we can meditate and keep in mind, and it'll help us to not get kind of hung up on things going on that might discourage us.
Thank you. So we'll stop there. Srimad Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Thai Gaur Premanande.